Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless Tuesday, January 7th recap. Sharon's car found at the bottom of the river. The Young and the Restless YNR spoilers recap for Tuesday, January 7th states that the show kicked off with Billy Abbott Jason Thompson meeting Phyllis Summers Michelle Stafford at Society. Phyllis was looking calm, cool, and collected, so Billy questioned her demeanor. Phyllis tells Billy that she's letting go of the Sharon Newman case situation, taking the advice of those around her. As much as she wanted revenge on Sharon, she couldn't control the situation, so she chose to focus on other things. While Billy does question this new attitude, Phyllis goes on to say that she's all in and talk turns to their plan to bring Victor Newman Eric Braeden down and get Chancellor back. Still, she has one condition before they officially enter into a partnership. On Tuesday's YNR across town, Nick Newman Joshua Morrow is seen at Sharon's cottage. Faith Newman Raylan Castor comes downstairs and both of them talk about how little sleep they got the night before. Faith is worried as Sharon is still missing and thinking about the worst-case scenario. However, Nick puts on a brave face and tells his daughter how strong her mom is. As Nick pointed out, the police are on things, and he's checked the hospitals with none reporting back that Sharon has been admitted. Faith can't shake the fact that Ian Ward Ray Wise might be behind her mom missing, but Nick continued to try and spin things in a positive fashion. Meanwhile, over at the Newman Ranch main house, Victor and Nikki Newman Melody Thomas Scott talk about the reappearance of Ian. Nikki is outraged that Ian is out of prison and back on the loose. She talked about all his past crimes on their family. However, Victor made a vow to protect her and their loved ones. Victor also let his wife know that his security team is following Ian's every move. The Young and the Restless Tuesday, January 7th recap. At the park, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes and Tessa Porter Kate Fairbanks are out on a walk with Aria Copeland Porter Maddie and Millie Ingle when they run into Ian. In fact, as soon as he catches a glimpse of the couple's cute toddler, he moves in to get a closer look, only to get stopped by Mariah. Ian tells Mariah he's a changed man, something she doesn't buy, and also points out that the women are safe. That's because the gentleman just behind him along the way is one of Victor's security members, something that Ian is grateful for, as it'll prove he has no intention of harming anyone. Ian goes on to take accountability for all the terrible things he did to Mariah in the past and offered to make things right, but Mariah was not interested. The conversation turned to Tessa and her health scare on Nye. Ian asked if she had found out the cause, and she said no, but was grateful for the puffer he offered her and awkwardly thanked him. He noted that it was God's plan to be there at that moment, which only triggered Mariah. Ian then creepily stated that it looked like he and Mariah were destined to be intertwined until the end. Ian then implied how some followers of his faith might not support a family dynamic like Mariah's and Tessa's, but he does. This triggered Mariah, as she instructed Tessa to take Aria over to the other side of the park and threatened Ian to stay away from her and her family, or else. Back at Society, just as Phyllis is about to tell Billy her one condition for their alliance, Summer Newman Allison Lanier interrupts them. She has news for her mom, as Chancellor Connor Floyd just told her that Sharon is missing. Both Billy and Summer seem genuinely concerned, but Phyllis fluffs it off. Phyllis believes Sharon could be doing this for attention, which prompts Billy to question if Phyllis knows what happened to Sharon. He reminded her that just 5 minutes ago she was ranting about the revenge she wanted against her blonde nemesis, and Phyllis reminded him that the only reason she brought it up was to let him know that she was over it. She also reminded Billy about the other things, i.e. Victor, they were talking about in their conversation, and nicely asked for an apology, which he gave. Still, based on Summer's face, it looked like she had some suspicions that her mom might be behind Sharon's missing status. Billy then headed toward the other side of society, where Sally Spectra Courtney Hope was. His new gal pal sprung a nice surprise, asking him to come with her to Paris on a business mixed in with some pleasure trip. Billy agreed, however, he wondered if there was an ulterior motive. Billy asked Sally if this was a move in hopes of getting him to drop his scheme against Victor. She said that she is slightly hoping he'll forget about that plan but doesn't expect him to drop it entirely. Still, she did point out that she was afraid someone was going to get hurt, but Billy brushed that off. Phyllis watched Billy and Sally, noting how basic Sally is and bringing up the terrible things Sally has done in the past. Summer tells her mom that she's moved past her rivalry with Sally and that she should do the same. Summer notes that Sally is talented and has done amazing work at Marchetti, however, it's clear that Phyllis is nowhere near over it when it comes to Sally. Back at the Newman Ranch, Nick visits his parents, and the three discuss the possible link of Sharon missing and Ian being behind it. It is during this scene that Nick gets a phone call from Chance Chancellor Connor Floyd. Chance tells Nick that Sharon's car was found at the bottom of the river, near the same place that Heather Stevens' Vale Bloom body was found after her demise. Billy returns to Phyllis at her table from talking to Sally and is ready to hear what Phyllis' one condition to their partnership is, and she reveals that she's all in as long as Billy promises a spot at Chancellor for Daniel Romalotti Michael Graziadei as a key player in the company. The Young and the Restless spoilers say that Billy will likely agree to Phyllis' one stipulation, as these two forge ahead with this business plan, but will both be caught off guard when they feel some rekindled sparks along the way. The episode opened with Ray Rosales leading an urgent search for Sharon Newman, who had been missing for several days. Tensions were running high as friends and family gathered at Crimson Lights to strategize and share information. Mariah Copeland, Sharon's daughter, was visibly shaken, clinging to hope that her mother would be found safe and sound. Faith Newman, struggling to process the situation, leaned on Nick Newman for comfort. As Ray coordinated with the authorities, word came in about a possible lead. A local fisherman had reported seeing tire tracks near the edge of the riverbank. The search team rushed to the location, where they made a horrifying discovery: Sharon's car submerged in the icy waters. The sight sent shockwaves through the group, with Ray, Nick, and Mariah staring in disbelief as the car was pulled from the river. Questions and suspicions arise. The discovery of Sharon's car raised more questions than answers. Ray immediately began investigating the circumstances surrounding its presence in the river. Was this an accident, or was foul play involved? Evidence suggested that the car had been driven off the road intentionally, leading to speculation about whether Sharon had been forced off the road or if someone else had been driving her car. Meanwhile, Adam Newman's name came up in hushed conversations. His history with Sharon and recent erratic behavior made him an obvious suspect in the eyes of some. Chelsea Lawson, however, came to Adam's defense, insisting that he had nothing to do with Sharon's disappearance. Despite her assurances, Nick wasn't convinced and vowed to keep a close eye on his brother. Mariah and Tessa's emotional struggle. Back at the coffee house, Mariah grappled with the growing fear that her mother might never come home. Tessa Porter tried to comfort her, but the strain on their relationship was evident. Mariah's worry for Sharon consumed her, leaving little room for anything else. Tessa, feeling helpless, resolved to do whatever she could to support Mariah during this difficult time. The two shared a tender moment as Tessa reminded Mariah of Sharon's strength and resilience. "She's been through so much," Tessa said softly. "If anyone can make it through this, it's your mom." Mariah nodded, tears streaming down her face, but the uncertainty weighed heavily on her. Victor and Nikki take action. Victor Newman, never one to sit idly by, took matters into his own hands. He called in private investigators to assist with the search and vowed to uncover the truth about what happened to Sharon. Nikki Newman, deeply concerned for Sharon and her family, worked to rally the community. Together, they offered support to Nick and Faith, who were struggling to stay strong. Nikki's maternal instincts kicked into high gear as she reminded everyone of Sharon's impact on their lives. "She's a fighter," Nikki said, her voice firm. "We can't give up on her." Her words inspired hope, but the fear of the unknown loomed large. Phyllis's shocking revelation. As the search continued, Phyllis Summers inserted herself into the situation, claiming she had information that could change everything. Her revelation: she had seen Sharon arguing with an unidentified man outside the Grand Phoenix the night before she disappeared. Phyllis's account added a new layer of intrigue to the case, but her motives were questioned. Was she genuinely trying to help, or was this another one of her schemes? Ray pressed Phyllis for details, but her story was frustratingly vague. "I'm telling you what I saw," she insisted. "If you don't believe me, that's your problem." Her statement left Ray more determined than ever to uncover the truth, but it also added to the tension among the Newman family. A glimmer of hope just as despair threatened to overwhelm Sharon's loved ones, a new piece of evidence emerged. A hiker found a scarf near the riverbank that was identified as Sharon's. The discovery suggested that Sharon might have escaped the car and made it to shore. The possibility that she was still alive reignited hope among the search team. Ray and his team expanded their search efforts, combing the woods and nearby areas for any sign of Sharon. Nick joined the search, refusing to rest until his ex-wife was found. Faith, inspired by her father's determination, pleaded to help, but Nikki gently reminded her that she needed to stay safe and trust the adults to bring Sharon home. The episode's cliffhanger. As the episode drew to a close, viewers were left on the edge of their seats. Ray's team uncovered fresh footprints leading away from the riverbank, sparking a renewed sense of urgency. Meanwhile, back in Genoa City, Adam received a mysterious phone call that left him visibly shaken. "I told you to leave her out of this," he said angrily before hanging up. The final scene showed Sharon in a secluded cabin, disoriented but alive. Someone had clearly brought her there, but their identity remained a mystery. As Sharon struggled to regain her strength, the sound of approaching footsteps sent her into a panic. Who was coming through that door, and what did they want with her?